Hi everyone, this is ROwland and I have a few more pages from my December album to share now. So I am working on page 19 to start off with, and I decided to go for another circle page or a page featuring circles. There were two circle tags in the snowflake ephemera, and I have used those as a template for my third one. So I've cut round a piece of what I've drawn around one and onto a piece of white card and cut it out, and then the other two tags I'm leaving as they are, other than tying through a piece of pink twine through both of them. Just getting those in place now, and say I've drawn around the third one, and the third one is going to be where my photo is going to go. So I've drawn around it and stuck it to my background, will stick it to my background, but I'm only going to tack it in place so that I can pull it off of my layout later, draw around it and use that as a template to draw around and cut out my photo. So that's the idea of that. I've cut 3 smaller circles to go in between the 3 bigger circles, and then I'm just adding some layers to those. So I've got some pink paper, and I've got the fussy cut stars from the Speciality cardstock sheet, foiled cardstock sheet. So I've fussy cut out a few stars, and I'm just grabbing out my circle punches at the moment and figuring out what I want to do. So I'm just using a circle punch to punch out a snowman. That's a bit of spare pattern paper from a previous part of this album. I think I made a tag out of that paper and I had the strip off cut from the side. So I've cut the snowman out of pattern paper and he's going to go on the top left circle. The number 19 Bramble Fox acrylic is going to go on the middle right circle. And I need a couple of stars to go in a layer with that as well. So I'm just going to cut those out now and get them all in place. So yeah, it's looking good. It's coming on. I'm happy with it, but I'm just wondering if it needs some extra layers. So I'm going to see if I can add this pink star snowflake type thing. And it doesn't really work anywhere, to be honest. It's quite big, but not quite big enough to be a good photo mount. So I was trying to offset it, but I'm not sure about it. It doesn't really work that well. So I thought I'd just leave that for now and come back to it in a moment. I'm using some vellum. I've got some spare vellum from the kit, and I'm just punching. Basically, I'm punching one layer of vellum, then a slightly bigger layer of pink, and then they're going to go onto the bigger white circles as well. So just lots of layered circles, basically. It's always a nice look. So yeah, I'm still struggling with that snowflake. I tried everywhere. It won't go anywhere. But in the end, I decided it's going to go behind my snowman at the top. So again, I'm just leaving it to one side for now because I still can't work out where to put it. Yeah, just getting those stars stuck in place at the moment. I'm tacking that photo mount in place and getting the other circles stuck down. Because I'm happy with all the placement, really. I'm happy with where everything's going to go, so I might as well commit and get it all stuck down and in place. So yeah, just getting those stuck down now. Those stars, I'm not quite sure about them. I want the number 19 acrylic to sit there, but then I lose a bit. I worry that the star is going to show through my acrylic number, which it would do. But you can see what I did there. I've tucked the bigger one behind the circle, so that's not a problem. And then the other one I've stuck to the side, but I have cut off the bit that was going to show under the 19. So that works really well. Okay, and then I've just stuck my 19 down onto my circle. And then my snowman's going on. I did decide to go for the snowflake just to mount him, to mat him, and that looks quite good. I'm quite happy with that. Yeah, so that's pretty much page 19 done. So moving on to page 20 now. So I've got a design 4 page protector, which is 4 3x4 pockets. Now, I didn't do a lot of pocket page scrapbooking. I did do Project Life for a few years, but I haven't done for quite some time now. So I'm a bit out of practice. But I thought I would have a look and see if I could have a play around and figure something out for this style of page protector. So I was going to have those opposite corners, but decided against that. And I really like the vellum overlay lift up flap that I did in a previous pocket page for this album. So I thought I'd try and achieve the same. However, it's a bit more difficult because the pockets are 2 3x4s instead of 1 6x4, so it was a bit more tricky. So my overlay is going to go over the top of both of those, but I'm just going to attach my washi tape over the top in like this, as you can see what I'm kind of doing here. I just decided to tie my tag through with twine there. I don't know what was going on there, why I abandoned the top pocket. I think I was thinking at the time, oh, maybe this won't work because they're in 2 separate pockets rather than one piece, so I'll move on to something else. So obviously that's what I've decided to do. I'm just going to stick this label behind the tag, so I've cut it in half so I can use the other half elsewhere later, and a fussy cut star there as well. Tied my tag through with twine, and then I've also now hopefully got somewhere to put my number 20 Bramble Fox acrylic. There you go, I can just tuck it in there, that looks quite good. I don't need to back it with anything because it's just going straight onto the pink pattern paper, which works really well as a background. And added some stars there too. Those little journal cards there, I don't think I've done it yet, but I stitch around them in gold to give them both a nice border around both of those. So I thought I did that at the beginning, but obviously I didn't, unless I just can't see it on the screen. But yeah, so I stitch around there. I like a machine stitch border. I feel it brings it all together, especially in the lovely gold thread that I use. So yeah, I'll be doing that in a moment. So on the left hand side, red journaling card, I've just put a snow globe sticker and some other stickers from the sticker book, so they're kind of see-through. So there's a car, a couple of trees, snowflakes, etc. So that's my bottom 2 pockets done. Back to, oh, there you go, I've now stitched them. Right, back to the top 2 pockets and this vellum overlay that I'm going to try to do. So I have turned it over and I have poked my 2 pockets, my 2 inserts for those pockets up above the top of the page protector, and there we go, it now works in that way. The only problem is I have this little bit in the middle of the washi tape that needs to be trimmed off. So as soon as I've done that, then it goes all the way into the pockets, and I have a lift up flap that is 6x4, yet underneath I have space for 2 photos. So that's pretty cool. So I'm planning to leave those spaces for photos, and then I've got the front of the vellum decorated with lots and lots of Christmas trees. So I've got a few chipboard ones there, some flat stickers, and also some gold pretty puffy stickers from the stickers phrase set from the Snowflake collection. So that's a really nice page. I was really happy with how that turned out. And then moving on to pages 21 and 22. So page 21 is the reverse of page 20 and it's a pocket page, so therefore I need to get that sorted as in 4 quarters like I did previously, because it's the back of that page, so it has to be on this design. So I'm going for the 4 quarters this time, which is what the opposite corners this time, which is what I had planned to do previously but didn't. So I've got my 2 pieces of white card that represent my photos, top right and bottom left. And I have 2 pieces of pattern paper in the other 2 pockets, so 1 plaid and 1 red. The plaid one you can see I've already cut a circle from. That was from a previous circle layout, and I need to cover that off, obviously. So I pulled out the tag that says Peace, Love, Joy from the ephemera, and I've also got my 21 Bramble Fox acrylic number. I've tied that through with some pink thread as well. And then I had this idea that I would put something in the middle here, because I can stick directly on top of the page protector because the pockets open on the other side. So the front of this page protector is fair game. I can stick anything on it. It's great. And I don't block an entrance. So I thought about that really big gold star. No, that didn't work. It's the wrong colour. And then I thought about something else, and that didn't work either. So we'll see what happens. So going back to my pockets for now. Clearly, my strategy is if something doesn't work, put it to one side and come back to it later, especially on these layouts. So on that bottom one, I've got a card. It's a piece of ephemera that says skating pass or something, one that I won't use. So I've turned it around the other way and stuck some things over the top of it, just used it as a layer. So I've got that, plus the big pink star and the robin, a postage stamp. And then in the top left pocket, I'm adding that tag, which I've tied through with twine, as well as my Bramble Fox acrylic. Then I'm using the girl paper clip, but I've taken the paper clip off again. And then I can kind of nestle those together. I felt that it needed something else, that journaling card, but I'm going to come back to it in a minute. And I've decided on this joy, these 3 letters from the chipboard sticker sheet, that they can go in the middle of my page protector. And I really like how that ends up looking. So just finishing off that little journaling card there. So I've got that big star that my acrylic can sit in the middle of. And I've added that girl paper clip to the top. They're rubber toppers to the paper clip, so just lots of glossy accents to get those stuck in place. And they look really nice together, layered as they are there. I wanted to add in some snowflakes as well, but I don't do it at this point. I'm going to add them to the outside of the page protector in a minute. Okay, so the word joy can go through the middle of this page protector without blocking any entrances to the pockets, so that works really well. That can just sit there. I've glossy accented those into place because I have a funny feeling they're going to come off. However, I do have to actually resort to my hot glue gun to get those to stick properly, because they kept coming off even though they were stuck on with glossy accents. Of course, the surface isn't stable because it's that's a fold in there and it moves, so they were just kept pinging off. So that's pretty much day 21 done. Moving on to 22, I'm going to have a full page photo on this page. Therefore, I just want to make a small little twiddly bit for embellishment area to be stuck somewhere on my photo. So it'll be on the left-hand side. So I've just cut this piece of pink card, or it's actually paper, pink pattern paper, and it's quite wide. So I've added some washi down it, and I've also used the border punch that I've been using. And then I can bring in that great big yellow star, or golden star, which I was hoping to do. I sewed through the washi and I sewed it as a separate piece. I didn't sew it directly to my background. That's because I need to be able to put my photo there, and then I want to put this piece of embellishment on top. So yeah, added my gold star, added my number 22, yeah, that is pretty much done. Just adding it to my album. My album's getting pretty full now, so it's quite difficult to, every time I open the binder it falls out. Everything falls out. So yeah. Okay, so that is these ones finished. That's page 19, 20, 21 and 22. Okay, so thanks for joining me, and see you in the next video.